Hi. Welcome back to Berg Mountain Optional University in our course on #harmonic acoustic sound. This session we discuss inspiration in the composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Won't you come along with us?
Second accord D minor. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Inspiration. Inspired man sings transferring emotion at some time about someone or thing through space as public inspiration for those within earshot. The purpose of music is to attract, not attack, as the fife's melodies are separated from others by rhythm and drums where marching bands play to unite in victory, those in their vicinity. Songs are attached to melodies from instruments where tones of notes we mimic, attempting to reach a perfect C note vocally to prove to ourselves that man is as audibly efficient as instruments played. So, yes, man competes with instruments as choirs practice. Praying members remain in tune when performing, where vocal music is more often than not less than or equal to instrumental perfection, and it takes someone more charismatic to be greater than or equal to instruments, a maestro or one composing. Sure, man-made sound is temporary but also fleeting, as songs sang and compositions directed after performed remain afterwards only in man's minds until heard again. Considering Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart philologically, Leonard created in his son an etymological masterpiece, where Baroque literature is not only literal, but #harmonic acoustic sound is as well, when composed.
Better understanding Mozart, we ought think philologically by dissecting who he was through his name defined. When we went to university, it was explained that plagiarism was writing 3 or more words consecutively as another has copywritten, and emphasized it wouldn't be tolerated. Our names not words and firsts, middles, and lasts consecutive and copywritten if only from parent to child in mental notes. We act, if not only partially, like what we are called, where noble names breed character from legacies or whatever names we assign things, it's thought and manifest in the world. If one says he will build a shack, that's what it is going to be when he finishes building, and likewise mansions. With others' names, most importantly, how do we refer to those from yesterday, giving credit to those long gone who inspire us today? My mother would always tell us, or at least me, that everything was defined in a thing's name. Just as those named Rusty usually have red hair and brown dogs with white patches in their fur might be called Patches, proper names have character as Henry's do assembly lines, George's slay dragons, and Arthur's books. Wolfgang's were packs of, as in The Lion King, animated lions personified smaller communities under a kingdom that stretched as far as the eye can see. With the protagonist vicious wolf packs, they'd be calmed in community as if, what if God were one of us? The name Amadeus is compound, Latin word where ama translates in English to love and deus means God. His last name, Mozart, is more complicated as phonics and spelling aren't always of one accord. Translating names from languages to others, sociological boundaries change spellings of names and words to those more amicable to other languages, rhythms and styles. That Z in Mozart is emphasized in German as a stas, it's a hard S more accurately expressed as SS or SC. In all actuality, Mozart or Moschart may be a more accurate spelling, where Mozart or Mozart better help explain the essence of who and what he was. Translated from Latin to English, custom Mos and Taylor Sart, could be custom art or Mos Art. As this chapter is expected, we hope it is received where Mo may be for Mohammed, Tsar in Latin is king as a Russian Tsar, and of Arabic influence the T they'd put first, which we see as last. Why? Well, because half of Germany theoretically geographically is an Eastern European. Now, that was a mouthful.
Considering people, it often helps to consider their father's influence first. Having but 2 of his 7 children survived infancy, his third daughter and third and last son, Maria Anna Walburga Ignatia and Johann Chrysostomus Wolfgang Theophilus, were, Leopold thought, surely, blessing. A theorist, philosopher, composer, and violinist, he made child prodigies of Maria and Wolfgang. Leopold composed music and wrote a violin textbook entitled Versuch einer Grundleichen Violinschule in 1756, the year of Wolfgang's birth. Leopold composed his son's name, which would still today prove true, musically. Leo or lion and Louve, French for wolf, sound pronounced so similar, but that's another issue. Though Leopold's parents wished him a Catholic priest, and he preferred being a Kapellmeister, neither would be, but as Vice-Kapellmeister Leopold saw Wolfgang musically achieve. Under his father would-be Mozart was concertmaster to 1777 and organist after 1779 in Salzburg. If whether one was better than the other is not the issue, but as Leopold expanded his literary career from his father's bookbinding, Wolfgang would musical legacy from Leopold. Not that location matters, but etymologically, for those who didn't know, Saul's in Salzburg is actually Paul's, as Peter is Simon and Jews aren't Gentiles. Catholic, he was also German, in proximity to Protestants, and more familiar with Paul and Eastern Europe, not Peter's capitalism.
The independent city-state of Salzburg, researching Baroque literature in summer terms, its music is just as an inspiring form of art. The magic flute, we spoke of the Pied Piper's story last session, who led lemmings out the town and over a cliff, then children out the town with melody, but Mozart was Catholic, not in rebellion. He led those more contemporary to theaters and concert halls, places under the law of man, and not somewhere out in the wilderness where the law of nature conflicts with man's #harmonic acoustic sound. I didn't cover his works at all.
Though we didn't get to the main issues, I preferred writing about this second accord, considering inspiration in Mozart. We'll have to consider the following accords in relation to Mozart in Henry Moss's art of #harmonic acoustic sound. As opposed to composing music, in this book on music we'll use words in English rhythm to mimic sound, composing literature as notes do songs. Personifying wolves, bands of those that love God. Customize art is literally Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, in this case literature, but said, music. Concluding this chapter will be 12 following, because I ran out of time, but next we begin the President's Own.
That's all the information we have for you at this time on Mozart. We only considered philology, etymology, and a couple things to consider concerning Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart we will consider in our second and third session. We'll cover what a song is and the President's Own Marine Band. We hope to see you there. Thank you for your time and consideration.